They aren't counted among the dead, and they're not pointing fingers at who's to blame. But their suffering is hard to ignore. Katrina's four-legged victims are utterly alone, either left behind on purpose or turned away from evacuation buses. We hear them barking from abandoned homes. We see them stranded on rooftops and wandering the streets, some barely able to keep their heads above water.
They're living out on the streets right now, and they're very sweet, lovable dogs.
The rescue efforts we've seen are nothing short of heroic.
Oh, Sam.
Sam had to be cut out of a roof.
Hey, happy birthday, dude. I got Sam. I got him. He's alive.
Noah would have been proud. We've seen seagoing snakes, turtles, birds, even a pot-bellied pig.
Once you get your hands on them, you can just almost feel their body relax. They're so happy to have that human contact with them.
Shirley Minshew is the Dr. Doolittle of this disaster. She has a list of some 3,000 pets she's determined to save.
So you're essentially almost just going door to door.
Yes.
Or rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yes, definitely.
You might wonder why anybody would risk their lives in this muck to save a dog or a cat or a pot-bellied pig, whatever. It's not just about those irresistible eyes or those wagging tails. It's that pets may very well be the only thing in these people's lives that they can actually save.
It's very heart-wrenching, it's gut-wrenching to see that they come in here and all they want are their pets because it's the only thing that they have left.
Daniel Lorenz lost his home and his 2 labs.
It would be the greatest thing to happen to me, just, to get my dogs back.
We watched as he searched every pen in this animal shelter, and nothing.
I guess you got to really be a pet owner to know, how much it hurts,
In a community of so much loss, the power of a pet seems boundless. Lee Cowan, CBS News, New Orleans. We found the nightmare was no different at other hospitals. At this medical center, the spray paint on the wall says at least 11 bodies were recovered here. Inside, an almost unimaginable wasteland of gurneys, bedpans, and other biohazards too horrific to describe.
It is unnerving, to say the least. By every indication we see here, the last hours in this hospital were truly desperate ones. Almost every single window we walk by in every room is open. It easily could have reached close to 100 degrees, maybe more, in this hospital. And at the end of almost every corridor, we find this, chairs that were pushed up against the open windows, presumably to give the patients a little bit more fresh air.
There was little evidence of food, save a few cups of pudding. Desperation led some to smash open vending machines. The entry to the hospital's chapel was jammed with beds and wheelchairs. Some even slept near the altar. In patients' rooms, get well cards still hung on the wall. Even family pictures were left behind.
Finally, at the end of the hallway on the second floor, just feet from the emergency exit, we found the area where it seemed as if most of the critically ill patients were being housed. And it's here that we found one of the most disturbing signs of all. That's exactly what it was, just a simple sign. It said, "Dying patients, please respect."
Doctors say that most were so sick they probably would have died here anyway, but not like this. Lee Cowan, CBS News, New Orleans.
This is Byron Pitts. In the mud-soaked mountains of Nicaragua, where children still suffer and shake.
There you go, that's what I want to see.
Cries are finally being answered.
Dehydrated, and he's drinking bad water, so it's creating a stomach problem.
Just now, large shipments of food, water, and medicine are being delivered to small, desolate villages where people haven't had a decent meal since Hurricane Mitch hit them 11 days ago.
It breaks my heart that we can't bring him more.
U.S. Army Sergeant Robert Pelfrey from West Virginia, Pilot Stephen Mahaney from North Dakota.
You don't see stuff like this in North Dakota.
No, sir. It's pretty terrible.
They're part of a 4-man team making deliveries every day, all day. This is one of 5 U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopters in Nicaragua. It's capable of delivering close to 6,000 pounds of food and medicine, those isolated areas where trucks still can't reach. And every time we've landed, it felt like Christmas.
Tranquilo, tranquilo.
But in Nicaragua, international goodwill and bitter, sometimes violent national politics now share the same stage. Survivors are criticizing the government of President Arnaldo Alemán for doing too little, too late. It reminds many here of the uprising sparked after the 1972 earthquake, when Sandinista opposition leader Daniel Ortega overturned the Somoza regime that was accused of stealing overseas aid after that disaster. Now Ortega is back, pounding the government for an inadequate response to this catastrophe. So in a country where national disasters have shaped political events, that's an explosive situation that won't end soon. Nor will this. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Cinco Pinos, Nicaragua.
Trucks don't get bigger than this, do they?
No, this is it. This is my Prius.
Jonathan Goodwin's hybrid creation is a Ford F450. It is 14,000 pounds of pure mean green machine.
I could run hydrogen, biodiesel, diesel fuel, or natural gas.
Goodwin is a natural-born tinkerer. He started by tearing apart a lawnmower and putting it back together when he was just 6 years old.
We're good to go.
Now, every big trucker car this self-taught 7th grade dropout from Wichita works on gets more powerful, more fuel efficient, and faster. This 64 Impala is now an 850 horsepower monster that gets 25 miles to the gallon and goes 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Goodwin and his team in Kansas have transformed more than 100 vehicles in the past 10 years. Jonathan works on a small scale, and his modifications can cost anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars per vehicle. It leaves some in Detroit jealous.
I'm not held by the same restraints that they are.
So this is the governor's Jeep?
Having your car green-tuned by Goodwin is gaining celebrity status. The 1984 Jeep we are riding in belongs to the Governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We've doubled the horsepower, we've tripled the torque, and we've doubled the fuel economy.
Goodwin's greatest creation to date is the LinkVolt.
Okay, we're on.
It's Neil Young's 1959 Lincoln. It weighs 2.5 tons, is 19 feet long, can go 160 miles an hour. Oh, and it has 0 emissions because it can go more than 100 miles on just batteries.
Nobody wants to sacrifice size and style to gain fuel efficiency, and there's no reason to do it.
Why settle when you can have big, beautiful, clean, and green under one hood? Hari Srinivasan, CBS News, Los Angeles.